niveles está eso? Aquí está. Vamos a jugar estos niveles como las películas de Star Wars. De atrás hacia adelante. Mm. Mm. Lo mejor juego del mundo. Es chistoso porque para los que no hayan jugado estos niveles o los que no sepan bien qué pedo, estos niveles son como o sea, cuando recién estaban empezando juegos, diseñaron un nivel como que para que fuera apenas jugable.
So the boar hunt was one of the hardest levels for me to work on. It was a huge challenge with the systems that we had, and we kept trying, but it never felt quite right. Originally, the level happened after the Jackson Festival, which also
Aquí
got
tenemos
cut,
que seguir un
but before
coche
farm. Once the festival got
que
cut, it became
está
prologue to
sangrando.
farm. The intended experience is that in early iterations of the fight, it was more arena-like. The player slowly whittles down the boar's health. Ellie gets more visceral and more vicious. We get a little worried about her. We must have gone through 5 or 6 iterations of the boar fight and all, and every single time it changed pretty drastically. We split it into clear phases, where one was like all long range. We tried another where you're getting close and you get the jump on it quite literally. You're jumping off of a rock to attack it. And then finally, the gas station was built to highlight the boar's destructiveness.
Bien.
Since it's cramped, the boar feels larger. We also feel trapped with it, though perhaps it's not with us. When it charges, it gets to us quickly, so we must be on our toes. This made it more aligned with Ellie's sort of hunting for trouble mindset. Listening became more important, as well as moving around slowly so it didn't hear you. Could you and could you get a shot off quickly enough so you could dodge out of the way? Or is the shot worth the cost after? It feels like a gamble. By the end of the fight, everything would likely be in shambles. The boar would burst through the back, and Ellie would follow it and finally enact revenge.
Se acabó. No tienes a dónde ir.
De hecho, esta escena, para los que no lo sepan, es la única que tuvo que como haberse quedado, tenía como que una razón para haberse quedado, porque según los gritos del jabalí a Ellie le recuerdan los de Joel y más tarde.
The boar kill was supposed to be anything but glorious. With the
Y ahí es donde le recuerda a Joel, según. Pum, se acabó. Lo mismo. Y aquí es donde empieza el nivel de las alcantarillas.
This level, internally known as Fine Nora, was quite long in duration as we had to make Ellie traverse a far distance to the opposite side of downtown Seattle. The sewer section was originally longer than what we released the game with, approximately 10 minutes more. This was one of the few areas of the game that used water flows. When players reach the doorway and enter into the room, they're faced with a dead end. The real reason for this dead-end room is that on the reversal, when exiting back out of the doorway, players are faced with the route onwards. A pipe
Siento
that
un
they're not
pendejo
able to
agarrando todo
see
esto
when they
porque
were
no lo
swept
usa.
past it on the way in, and something that was hidden from view when on the side platforms. The intention here being that the only option is to go off the standard path in order to search for a
Sáquenme
way
de
out.
este maldito lugar.
Throughout the rest of the level, we also used light to indicate to the player that they were heading in the right direction. At each turn, however, we slowly introduced the player to consider climbing into smaller pipes and crouching in these
Arriba
tight
y afuera.
spaces. This is we
Solo
added
sigue
a tiny
subiendo y sal.
space just to reward the player's exploration with a pickup item. We loved the idea of making Ellie prone through a tiny dirty pipe in order to get out, as it was a great opportunity
No
to use our prone
enloquezcas, Ellie.
mechanic. A unique camera setup was created to support crawling in these pipes, as the standard prone camera is much higher above the player. We also created custom collision in order for Ellie to maneuver in these tight spaces easily. Initially, the oblong collision capsule around her character caused issues crawling around corners. In order for the player to feel cramped, claustrophobic and desperate, we'd been enforcing the traversal mechanics that allow for a tight environment which promote these feelings. We introduced the use of the squeeze through so that we can keep the player feeling enclosed and tight, but without repeating the same
Este
geometry.
nivel sí está así
Here
como
we
de
change from low ceilings with wider walls to
bien
high
X,
ceilings and
güey, o
tight
sea.
walls to change up the spatial pacing and keep the level from repeating itself.
Ese es de los pocos niveles que me quedan como que, wow, o sea, de verdad, o sea, no me da gusto que lo cortaran porque, o sea, todo esto, pues, o sea, está chido, pues, es un caminito y todo el pedo, como, o sea, como lo vean, pero, sí te quedas así como que, wow, o sea, está como que muy X,
Vamos, maldición.
pero lo que salva este nivel es lo que nos vamos a encontrar aquí. Ya no ponen las voces porque nada más estorban.
Maldita sea.
¿Es en este? No me acuerdo. Simón. Imagino que esta escena la vieron en muchas partes, ¿no? Pero pues aquí no. Tras el Joel. No mames, imagínate pasarme esas madres y que se despiertan.
¡Ah! ¡Mierda! ¡Ah!
Y ya, pues aquí ya viene siendo lo mismo del nivel normal. Desde mi punto de vista, o sea, es como que da igual, ¿no? Lo que habían cortado ahí, pero pues esa escena sí valía la pena que la dejaran, la del, la del clicker ese que se encuentra ahí. Nada más esa parte. Porque en sí, o sea, está como que muy X. Y este es de la fiesta de Jackson, yo creo que es el más decepcionante. Y hasta ni voces tiene, ni sonidos, no manches.
Originally, this level was going to transition us to farm. We would go all the way through to the dance, where Ellie and Dina share their first kiss. Something we really wanted to do was highlight the way their lives had turned upside down since she went down this path. We had this idea of recontextualizing all of our usual gameplay mechanics that were designed for, really, it is not a festival without one of these throwing games. This one, of course, uses our throwable system, where we're often chucking explosive things or stunning things, but for a more wholesome purpose, although some people take this game really seriously. A fun aspect of this is if you did well, you could win a toy here. Ellie would place it in her pocket. If you had done this, you'd find the toy with JJ, the baby, later back at the farm. When we cut this, the toy made it through anyway because it was so cute. It is the same one you see on the tracker at the farm. Ollie, this is one of my favorite sections because I think that it achieves both the slice of life aspect of Jackson while also being a stark reminder of how dark it really is. To attract attention and curiosity, one of the kids was supposed to make this adorable, messed up little clicker impression, and the others would giggle. We tried a version where if you got close enough, the kid might try and follow you a little before turning back. Since clickers are blind and move by echolocation, for this game of messed up tag, Ellie must close her eyes and listen for when the children give themselves away. The thought was that these kids are in relative safety. They still grow up with the dangers of clickers and runners, and all those lessons would embed themselves in the games that they play. When the festival got cut, they tried to preserve this moment and move it to the front of the game, but still there's a hidden spot at the back that was just a bit of fun. It was highlighting Jackson's normalcy with something we would find in a real world. In the back, you would find teenagers finding some alone time with each other. It was rewarding the player for peeking into a hidden corner, but ultimately redirecting them back to the festival. We also had versions of them smoking weed here, despite Maria's consternation, probably having gotten it from Eugene.
Y aquí nada más te sientas y ya no sé, es como que wow. No pasa nada. Esto sí está chingón. Esto es lo de que prepararte tu bebida. Whisky, tequila. Puro mexicano. Y la parte de aquí, de este del tatuaje. Ya es todo, es así como que... No, pues wow. Ya que haces todo esto, vas, te acercas a la puerta y se termina. Ya es así como que wow, ya se acabaron los 3 niveles perdidos. Ya. Muy decepcionante.